Hello, everyone. It's Anna from Virgo. So, the drought ends now, and what replaces it is abundance. So extravagant, you'll feel guilty receiving it. Don't look away. This shift is already beginning. Spoiled means receiving more than you asked for, more than you earned through specific effort, more than strict fairness would allocate. It's getting treated with generosity that exceeds what's reasonable, what's expected, what you've come to accept as your normal portion after years of getting exactly enough or frequently not enough. After operating in scarcity that taught you to be grateful for scraps, to not expect abundance, to make peace with minimums as though minimums were all you deserved, all you could hope for, all that was available for someone with your history, your limitations, your particular configuration of circumstances that seemed to guarantee perpetual, barely enough. That era ends. That operating system gets deleted. What's installing is opposite programming. Is universe deciding you've suffered sufficiently, you've learned whatever lessons scarcity was teaching, you've proven yourself capable of functioning without abundance, and now you get to discover what you're capable of when abundance is your baseline instead of your anomaly. The spoiling is heavy, not light sprinkling of good things mixed with continued struggle. Heavy means overwhelming, means more than you can process easily, means generosity coming from multiple directions simultaneously in ways that create almost problem of too much good happening at once, of blessings piling up faster than you can integrate them, of opportunities arriving in such volume that choosing between them becomes your challenge rather than desperately hoping one opportunity materializes. And this is new era, not temporary phase, not lucky streak that will revert to normal scarcity once cosmic dice stop rolling your way. This is baseline shift. This is your new normal. This is what life looks like for you from now forward, unless you actively sabotage it, unless you reject it through unworthiness programming, unless you destroy what you're receiving, because having it feels too unfamiliar, too good, too much, like something must be wrong if this much is going right. Let me show you what heavy spoiling actually looks like as it manifests across different domains of your reality. First domain, material abundance. Money arrives with less effort than before, not necessarily without effort, not through lottery or inheritance, unless that's your specific path, but through your work becoming more valued, more compensated, more recognized as worth premium pricing instead of budget pricing. Clients or employers or opportunities that pay substantially more than you've been making appear seemingly out of nowhere. Not because you suddenly became more talented or more skilled. You were always talented and skilled, but visibility shifts. Right people notice you, right opportunities cross your path. Right timing aligns with your readiness in ways that create income jumps that feel disproportionate to actual change in your output, because the change isn't in your output, it's in who's receiving your output and what they're willing to pay for it. Or things you need arrive as gifts, as help from unexpected sources, as situations resolving themselves without draining your resources the way similar situations would have drained you before. Car breaks down, but someone covers the repair. Medical issue arises, but insurance actually works for once instead of fighting you. Expense appears that would have destroyed your budget, but simultaneous unexpected income covers it perfectly, almost suspiciously perfectly, like universe is actively managing your finances to ensure you stay afloat. Stay comfortable, stay free from the constant financial anxiety that's been your background noise for so long you forgot what silence feels like. This material spoiling changes how you move through world, changes what you can say yes to, changes opportunities you can pursue that require investment you previously couldn't risk, changes your capacity to help others because you're not operating from depletion anymore. You're operating from overflow. That creates natural generosity because giving from overflow feels different than giving from scarcity, where every gift costs you something you're not sure you can afford to give. Second domain, relational abundance. People who see you, who value you, who treat you well, enter your sphere. Not one person, multiple people, not to create chaos or confusion, but to create richness, to surround you with humans who appreciate you, who show up for you, who reciprocate your energy instead of draining it. If you're single and wanting partnership, you don't get one option. You get several people pursuing you who are actually worth considering, who bring qualities you've been wanting, who demonstrate through their actions that they're serious about you, that they value access to you, that they understand your prize, not project, that being with you is privilege. They'll work to maintain. This abundance of options might feel uncomfortable if you're used to scarcity, used to taking whoever shows interest because interest is rare. But having options serves you, lets you choose based on compatibility, on genuine preference, on who actually fits your life, rather than just accepting whoever's available because being alone feels worse than being with someone mediocre. Uh, and if you're already partnered, the spoiling manifests as them stepping up, as relationship improving, as them suddenly more attentive, more generous, more committed, more actively working to make you happy because they sense the shift in you. They sense that you're becoming someone who has options, who won't tolerate being taken for granted, who's too valuable to treat carelessly, or friendships deepen, or family relationships heal, or professional relationships become more supportive. Across the board, people in your life either rise to meet your new energy or they exit, making room for people who can match where you are, who can appreciate what you bring, who can engage with you as peer rather than as someone above you or below you, but as actual equal who values mutual exchange. Third domain, experiential abundance. Life gets richer. Not just materially, experientially. Opportunities to do things you've wanted to do but couldn't afford or couldn't access or couldn't make time for suddenly become available. Travel opportunities appear, invitations to events, to experiences, to situations that expand your world. Tickets to shows you wanted to see arrive as gifts. Weekend getaways become possible because money exists and schedule clears and someone wants to go with you, or you're comfortable going alone because you've developed that confidence, that self sufficiency that makes solo adventures appealing rather than sad. Or creative opportunities manifest. Someone wants to collaborate with you. Someone wants to publish your work, showcase your art, platform your ideas. Recognition comes not because you've been grinding harder, but because your work is finally reaching people who can appreciate it, who can amplify it, who can help it find the audience it deserves. Joy becomes more accessible. Pleasure becomes guilt-free. You stop apologizing for having good experiences. You stop shrinking your happiness to make others comfortable. You let yourself enjoy without immediately waiting for punishment, for cosmic correction, for the other shoe that you've been conditioned to expect will drop whenever something good happens. Because your history taught you that good is always temporary, always gets balanced by bad, always costs something you discover only after you've already committed to receiving it. This reflection invites you to consider which domain of abundance, material, relational, or experiential, do you most crave, and which scares you most to receive. Now, let me address the guilt that title mentioned and why you'll feel it initially, even though guilt doesn't serve you. Guilt appears because you've been conditioned to believe abundance must be earned through suffering, through sacrifice, through proving worthiness that's never quite proven enough. Receiving abundance without corresponding suffering feels wrong, feels unearned, feels like you're cheating somehow, like you're taking more than your fair share while others still struggle. But this guilt is programmed, is learned, is not truth about how universe operates. Your abundance doesn't diminish others. Your receiving doesn't create their lack. There's not fixed amount of good that must be rationed carefully to ensure everyone gets equal tiny portion. Abundance multiplies. Your thriving gives others permission to thrive. Your receiving demonstrates that receiving is possible, is available, is not reserved for special people who have something you lack. Let the guilt surface, acknowledge it, then release it consciously. I release the belief that I must suffer to deserve good things. I release the belief that my abundance harms others. I release the guilt that prevents me from fully enjoying what I'm receiving. Because guilt will sabotage the spoiling if you let it. Guilt will make you reject opportunities. Guilt will make you give away resources you need. Guilt will make you shrink back into scarcity because scarcity feels more familiar, more safe, more like the identity you've built around being someone who struggles, who doesn't have much, who makes do with less. But you're not that identity anymore. That was survival identity. That was who you had to be when resources were limited. Now, resources aren't limited. Now you get to discover who you are when you're not in survival mode, when you're not constantly managing scarcity, when you're living from overflow that creates different choices, different possibilities, different version of yourself that was always there but couldn't emerge while you were busy just trying to make it through each day without collapsing. And let yourself be spoiled without immediately trying to earn it retroactively. You don't need to work harder to justify receiving more. You don't need to prove you deserve it. You don't need to become perfect to maintain it. The abundance is coming because it's your time, because the universe operates on rhythms and cycles and seasons, and your season of scarcity has ended and your season of abundance has begun. Not because you finally became worthy, but because seasons change, regardless of worthiness, because flow is natural state, and you've been in drought long enough that flow returning is simply what happens next. This reflection invites you to consider What beliefs about deserving or earning abundance will you need to release to actually receive what's coming? Let me address who specifically is doing the spoiling, since title says whoever you are, implying the source might vary. For some, it's romantic partners stepping up, treating you better, investing more, showing appreciation through generosity that feels like making up for lost time, for periods when they took you for granted, for moments when they didn't fully see your value. For others, it's family finally recognizing your worth, finally supporting you, finally offering help they should have offered years ago, but didn't because they were caught in their own struggles or their own blindness about who you actually are versus who they assumed you were. For others, it's new people entering your life with generous spirits, with abundance mindsets, with natural inclination to give, to share, to spoil people they care about because that's their love language. That's how they show appreciation. And they're choosing to show it to you because you've become someone they value enough to invest in. For others, it's professional sources, clients who pay well, employers who compensate fairly, opportunities that recognize your worth through concrete financial compensation instead of through praise and exposure that don't pay bills. And for others, it's universe itself, it's synchronicities that work in your favor. It's timing that aligns perfectly. It's doors opening exactly when you need them to open. It's resources appearing exactly when you need them to appear. It's reality bending slightly in your direction for change, organizing itself to support you instead of constantly creating obstacles you have to overcome. The source matters less than the receiving. Whether one person spoils you, or 10 people spoil you, or life itself spoils you, the work is the same. Stay open, stay receptive, say yes to what's offered, let yourself have it without sabotaging through unworthiness or through destroying good things because you don't trust them to last. And here's what's crucial: being spoiled doesn't make you entitled, doesn't make you lazy, doesn't ruin you. That's scarcity programming, trying to convince you that having enough or more than enough will corrupt you, will make you weak, will destroy your character that was supposedly built through struggle. But struggle doesn't build character, struggle builds survival skills. Character is what you do with abundance, how you treat people when you have resources, whether you become generous or stingy, whether you share your overflow or hoard it, whether abundance makes you kinder or crueler. That's the actual test. That's what reveals who you are beneath the circumstances. And you'll be fine. You'll handle abundance well because you know scarcity. You know what it's like to struggle. You know what it's like to need and not receive. That knowledge creates empathy, creates generosity, creates wisdom about how to use resources in ways that serve rather than harm. You won't waste the abundance. You won't take it for granted. You'll appreciate it because you remember what not having it felt like, and that memory will keep you humble even as you're being heavily spoiled. This reflection invites you to consider: how will you stay grounded and grateful as abundance increases without falling into guilt or entitlement? Finally, let me speak to what you do practically to cooperate with the spoiling rather than resisting it. First, practice receiving. Start now with small things. Let people buy you coffee. Let people give you compliments without deflecting. Let people help you without immediately reciprocating to even the score. Receiving is skill, requires practice, requires getting comfortable with being on receiving end without constant need to give back equally to maintain some imaginary balance that scarcity mindset says is necessary. Say thank you and stop there. Don't add, but you didn't have to, or I'll get you back next time, or any of the qualifiers that reject the gift while pretending to accept it. Just receive. Just let yourself be given to. Just practice being a person who can accept generosity without shame. Second, notice and acknowledge abundance that's already arriving. Don't wait for massive, obvious spoiling to recognize that shift has started. Notice small improvements. Notice unexpected money. Notice people being kinder. Notice opportunities appearing. Notice doors opening. Acknowledging these trains your awareness to see abundance, and what you see more of, you receive more of, because attention shapes experience. Third, make space for abundance. Clear physical clutter that signals to universe you're still operating in scarcity, still holding on to broken things because you might need them someday. Clear schedule space. Clear mental space. You can't receive more if your life is completely full of what you already have. Abundance needs room to enter, to establish itself, to become your new baseline. Fourth, spend like someone who's abundant even before abundance fully manifests. Not recklessly, not stupidly, but stop hoarding every penny out of fear. Buy yourself something nice occasionally. Invest in quality. Treat yourself with the generosity you're about to receive from others. Your behavior signals what you believe you deserve, and universe responds to those signals by confirming them. You're going to be spoiled heavily. This new era brings abundance you've been denied. The drought is ending. The overflow begins. Let yourself receive it. Let yourself enjoy it. Let yourself be transformed by it. You've earned this through surviving scarcity. Now learn to thrive in abundance. The spoiling has already started. Pay attention. Receive graciously. Let it change you. Welcome to your new era.